you so much, Mr. Speaker. I'm pleased to yield 5 minutes to Ms. Myrick of North Carolina, the chair of the Congressional Anti-Terrorism Caucus.
The gentlewoman from North Carolina is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, and Mr. Speaker, Iraq is just one battlefield in this multi-generational struggle against radical Islamist jihadists, but it's a very important battlefield. This is the beginning stage of a multi-generational worldwide struggle that will last throughout our lives and likely our children's lives. It's hard to accept that the safety and security that most Americans felt in the 1980s and the 1990s was just a smokescreen while the Islamist extremists planned and carried out a one-sided war in other parts of the world. On September 11th, we saw the unthinkable. Airplanes flown into buildings, thousands of innocent people killed, and the killers claiming that this was done because God desired it. Some people still don't understand how anyone could rationalize such disgusting acts. For the past few years, and specifically in the past month, I've joined with some of my colleagues to learn about the true nature of the threat that we face from this jihadist ideology. This ideology is preached by the likes of Osama bin Laden, Bashar al-Assad, and Hassan Nasrallah, and the Ayatollahs in Iran. Our presence in Iraq did not make us vulnerable to these killers. There were many previous worldwide attacks before America was attacked on September 11th and before we entered Iraq. We face this threat because we refuse to succumb to live in a world where women cannot speak, as I speak now, without risk of death. We face this threat because we seek a world where people of all religions and races and sexes are entitled to the same rights. We cannot retreat. If we pull out, there is no doubt that Iraq will become a safe haven for al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, and other terrorist groups to plan and carry out attacks on unbelievers or infidels. How do I know this? Because they tell us. They told us before 9/11, but we didn't pay attention. They tell us all the time that they will not stop until all lands from India to Morocco and Spain to Russia are governed by radical Islamic law. In 1938, Adolf Hitler told us what he was going to do, and we refused to pay attention, and we cannot afford to repeat that historical mistake. This is not a Democrat and Republican issue. Our security is an American issue, and I hope we're going to start to act as Americans like the American people expect us and want us to do. We must understand we're fighting the first battles of a war against radical Islamist ideology that will be waged for the next 50, maybe 100 years. Mistakes have been made, and more mistakes will be made in the future. War is never easy, nor is it predictable. But if the people of the United States understand the true nature of the threat that we all face, and Congress realizes that this war against jihadism will be fought in various forms around the world for at least the next 50 years, then we can make informed policy decisions that will help us in the future. And we must plan now for the future. We need to unite as a country behind this struggle against radical Islamic jihadists. It's downright irresponsible to tell our troops that we support you but don't support the mission that you're fighting. What message does that send to our troops? It may score political points, but it hurts our troops who are over there fighting to defend us and our right to be here and speak freely. This resolution doesn't deal with the larger problem of radical Islamic jihadists, so I strongly urge a no vote. We must support our troops in the field by supporting their mission. I support our troops wholeheartedly and believe their mission is just and necessary for the security interests of our country. The world our children and our grandchildren will inherit will be a better place because we had the courage to stand up today to fight these battles. Thank you, and I yield back my balance of my time.